guest, and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Para X, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
Supernatural, metaphysical, paranormal. You know, all those things you've been wondering about? Are you ready to go deeper into the realms of the unknown? I hope you've got your walking shoes on, because life is an adventure, and this is the journey. Come on, let's go. Hello and welcome to the show, everyone. This is the Journey Radio Show. And hey, we're the She Squatchers. I'm Jen Cruz, your host, and I've got my team on the line. I've got Tammy Trickle.
Hey!
And I've got Jenna Grover.
Hello. And by the way, welcoming me back, Minnesota.
Yes,
we're staying
she's
at a
back in
casino.
Minnesota.
Thank you very much.
Yay, she's
Jingle,
no longer
jingle.
in Texas. Anyway, tonight, I just have to explain for anybody who can't see us, we are wearing costumes for the most part. It's all Tammy's idea. Why? Why, Tammy? Why do we have?
Because I went to an ugly sweater party at work, and I wanted to put on my Ralphie bunny costume. And so I told the girls, hey, let's do costumes. There we are.
And I didn't have an ugly sweater, but I have furry ears with sparkles, so I put those on. And Jenna's traveling, so she didn't have anything. So she tried to draw on her face.
Yeah, it didn't work. I literally tried to draw a little Christmas tree, and it turned out to looking like a bruise. So I wiped that off real quick. Now I've got a, looks like a paw.
Yeah. So
meow.
That's what we're having an extra goofy night tonight. So I had to shut off my background because it kept deleting my ears.
Yeah, you couldn't see our ears.
Yeah. So anyway, we have a
so
super
you guys have
awesome.
to check out the YouTube so that you can see our ears.
Yes, after the show, sometime check out so you can see our cute little ears. Anyway, Jenna actually has ears like mine somewhere, but she doesn't.
At home, yeah.
Yeah,
So
because she bought hers first, right?
With ears. So anyway.
Yes, I did it first.
She did.
She did it first.
I start the trends, okay?
But she put her hair up in two little piggy tails, so you couldn't even really tell. I didn't even notice the ears right away. They just looked like part of her hair. So
it looked so cute.
It was cute.
It was so cute. Jen said,
start wearing them every day, but she didn't.
I know, right?
I was shocked. Anyway, so we've got an awesome guest coming back to us tonight. We've got Thom Cantrall coming to us. Hey, Thom, how are you?
How you guys doing? It's good to see you again.
We're so excited.
I kind of misinterpreted what you're talking about costumes, and I wore my scary one tonight.
Oh, yeah. We noticed. So we didn't want to say anything.
Scary, Thom.
We didn't want to call you out.
Right. We love you just the way you are.
Yeah. Jenna said that you have been on some adventures lately.
Well, yes, I have. And I've had some people with me that were on great adventures. But I just got back from the Sasquatch Summit in Ocean Shores, Washington. Had an absolutely wonderful time. I cannot believe the quality of people that come to that gathering. And it just, it absolutely blew me away. It really did. I'm actually at a loss for words. And those of you who know me know that doesn't happen very often, that I can't even talk about something, but it was just so magnificent. I was presented with the most beautiful painting of my teacher looking in my window. And then it's framed now with a barnwood frame. So it really looks like he's looking right straight in through the window. It's unbelievable how it came out. And then Mr. Dennis Day from Oregon. Very excellent artist. As a matter of fact, my book, Sasquatch, the Proof, the cover on that one is his painting. And he walked up and handed me 3 prints off of 3 of his paintings, said, "Here, these are for you." And I was astounded. Then I gave my presentation, and fellow walks up from the audience and hands me this hand-drawn caricature of me sitting on my little scooter and talking with the microphone, even had elements from my talk in the caricature. It's just absolutely out of this world. It's unbelievable what people did there for me and with me. It was just unbelievable. And we had Barb shoot there with it, and it was just a wonderful conference. Super. I can't say anything good enough for it. It's one that people should not miss. There's great teaching going on there, and a good balance between those of us who understand Sasquatch and those of us who were still stuck to the science only part. And so, each could get their own. And one of the dynamite presentations of the weekend, Michael Freeman, the son of Paul Freeman, if you remember Paul and his video. And he was there and spoke, talked about the things that ABC News did to Paul Freeman, and laid it out on the line. And this I knew because I knew Paul and knew what was going on at the time. But most people don't understand what they did and how they did it. And it was absolutely terrible. So bad that I've never watched ABC News since, and that was 1992. Okay. And it was just a hatchet job, just a 100% hatchet job. There's a fellow named Wes Summerlin. Wes Summerlin's an old mountain man from Blue Mountains in southeastern Washington. I mean, he spent his life in those mountains. He was a packer, a hunter, an outfitter. And they told him on that show that he didn't know the difference than looking at a bear or a Sasquatch.
He didn't know the difference.
Yeah, couldn't tell it. He was looking at a bear and thought he was looking at a Sasquatch. That was all it was. They just weren't there.
And how long had he been out there?
He'd been his whole life in those mountains, and the most Sasquatch-rich area in the world, in the Blue Mountains, and that's the type of stuff they did. Asked Paul if he'd ever made fake feet, because he was showing some of the track casts. Oh yes, I have. I always make them and put them in my garden so I can compare them to the ones I've made, that I've cast. They cut it at, oh yes, I have. See, he's a hoaxer. This is all a hoax. Yeah, it was atrocious what he did. And to have his son there vindicating him was absolutely fantastic. Afterwards, I talked to him and I said, "Your father's smiling today." Paul passed in 2003. And it was so good to hear him stand up and vindicate him. It was wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And so, that's one of the things that's going on. And next Tuesday, I live in an assisted living facility. I have my own apartment, but I have help if I need it. And of course, I'm still pretty ambulatory, and my mind, as much as it's ever been, is still pretty much together. Forgetful, but who were you guys again?
You stay here.
But, what am I doing here?
Right. Are we on the radio?
I've been doing a presentation on Sasquatch here for the residents on a monthly basis. And next Tuesday, I'm having Barb Shoop and the Squatching with Barb and Goldie group in to do the presentation. Yeah.
Good for you.
And yeah, we've got it all set up. We've invited the public. I don't know how many will show up, but some do for my presentation. So there'll be some here. And we're having a group of them in for lunch beforehand. And so yeah, it's been pretty great. Been pretty great. And then to have friends like you guys, how can a guy go wrong?
Oh, ditto.
I'm sad that we didn't get to come to the Sasquatch Summit this year.
Yeah, me too. I told Johnny, don't make that mistake next year.
He tried really hard, but I told him, I said, we can't split the bill for the plane tickets up front this time. So
yeah.
And he tried to get them to pay for it for us to come, but it just was
trying to get back on our feet again after COVID, because it just died. And but it was pretty well attended this year.
That's awesome.
Yay, that's great.
Were you there for any of the classes that they had? Did they do the classes?
They did. They had the excuse me, speaking of help. That's right. Got everything done.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
I'll see you later.
Yeah, they just came in to check on me. I've got this little call button here if I need help, and sometimes it decides I need help when I haven't done anything. And
oh no!
So that's what it's done. It's gone off, and they came in.
Does it go off when you get? Does it go off when you get excited?
It goes off when it gets excited. Yeah.
Oh,
it gets excited.
Yeah, it's just, as far as I'm concerned, it just hangs there. But it decided to go off, and she came in to see if I needed help. And then the kids here are great. We've got some of them, but one of them was going to leave, and as if you leave, I'm going to go get you and bring you back. So she stayed.
Aww.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what we've been doing, and this is coming up next Tuesday. And like I said, we're going to have a lunch here. And I was asked to help with the conference in March at the Tulalip Reservation, but the person that was doing it is very hard to work with. And I just said, John, no, you want these pro-kill people on the stage? And I said, no. If they're there, I'm not. It's just that simple. And then the final straw was she wouldn't allow Arla to come because of her accent. I said, don't you understand? Arla uses that accent like a weapon. People love it. I've watched her get the border guard, Canadian border laughing, and those people have their sense of humor surgically removed when they take that job,
Yeah.
But she was adamant, said, that's all right, that's time out. You go ahead with it, it's all yours.
Mm-hmm.
But I may have been premature, but that's all right. I've been premature before. And I've survived 80 years, so.
There you go.
Yeah. Matter of fact, when I got up this morning, I'd set a new record for longevity, personal longevity. I've never been this old before in my life.
Every day.
That's right.
Every day. You've never been as old as you are now.
That's right.
Oh,
and you're the youngest you'll ever be.
That's right. The youngest I'll ever be again.
That's true. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yes. We are so young right now, tomorrow. Actually, I don't even think about age.
No, I've got socks older than any of you guys.
We need to get Tom some ears.
Seriously.
Well, what would you like to hear about Sasquatch today?
Tom, I wanted to ask you, and I'm sorry for just throwing this at you, but did you see that video that they recorded from the train? Was that in Colorado?
Yeah. You got to remember nowadays with AI, with CGI, pictures mean nothing. because they can do anything they want with them. And yeah, it looked great. And it doesn't make any difference because if you were there and he was there, that's exactly what you would see. Okay. I can do the technical aspect, check the ratios.
That's what I was wondering about, if you did that.
Yeah, I did that, and it falls in line with that. But that doesn't mean the person who did the CGI or did the AI doesn't know those ratios too. You know, it just means that it's not human. You know, in that aspect.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's why you know photographs have never been admitted in a court of law because of that reason. You can do so much with them. You can you know change them and adapt them, and it's the same thing now.
Especially now.
Yeah, especially now, right? There's stuff out there that's so absolutely perfect, you know. And I can say, you know, yeah, that's what you'd see. So what's the difference? You know, I don't know people that get their goodies off by faking stuff like that to present as real. They don't make any sense to me. But then there's a lot of things I don't know. I still don't know why we drive on a parkway and park on a driveway. You know.
Yes.
Why are apartments so close together? There's a lot of things that boggle my mind. You know, why is the word abbreviated so long?
Tom, are you working on being a comedian? Because this is coming out way too smooth.
You might have noticed I've used those before.
Well, you grouped them up great. Now you just sound like it's a bit.
So I just wanted to tell the listeners, we've had Tom on the show before, and he has this calculation or this ratio that when he looks at Bigfoot photographs or Bigfoot videos, he looks at the ratio of the arms to the body. Mm-hmm. And he feels that he can, and I believe him, that he can tell the difference if the arms are long enough or not.
Well, it's an anatomical constant, okay, in all primates, and it's the ratio of the arm length from the shoulder to the wrist to the leg length from the hip to the ankle, and that's taught in Anatomy 101. I have a very good friend, Lee Calvez, who's a naturalist. She's written 2 books now, one on whales and one on owls, and she's now in the process of writing a book on Sasquatch. And I was talking to her just last week. We had lunch, and she was using this, and she went back and has done the original research, went back and got the information from the college course, and you know, then stated that she got it from me and then verified it. And I said, you know, that's absolutely, she's done that with several of the things that I use for proofs, and you know, so she's just verifying what I've taught for years. But yeah, it's called the intermembral index, and it's the ratio of arm length to leg length. And in humans, that ratio is 72. In chimpanzees, it's 104. In gorillas, it's 120. Okay, in a Sasquatch, it's 84. Their arms are 84% of the length of their legs. Okay, about 20% longer than ours are in relationship. Okay, now like I said, that's intermembral index. And I first wrote this up back in 2011, 2012, something like that. I wrote this up, and I first heard it from Dr. Meldrum himself, and then researched it myself. And of course, now the investigator Thinker got on me claiming plagiarism and all of that because I was doing it, and because he's developed a pDNA, I think he calls it, and he uses the back and the arms and the legs lengths. And I just got back to him. So you want to talk plagiarism? I did this first in 2011, 2012, and you're just getting to it now. So who's plagiarizing whom? but I don't care. I just getting the information out there. I thought that's what science did. Somebody came up with an idea, and somebody else tested that theorem. And if it tests out, then you advance it. If not, you abandon it. And but I found out that's not the way he works. He charges for access to his stuff, and so that's the way he wants it to be. But that's fine. That's the way he works. That's fine. I don't mind. But that's not going to stop me from using it. There's other constants that we've developed too. I tested and developed a way to find their weight from their foot.
Their weight from their what?
Their footprint. Okay, and I'll tell you the system. Okay, you take the length of the footprint, multiply that times 0.4. That will give you the average width of the foot. Take that 0.4 of the length times the length, and that'll give you the area of the foot. Then take that area and multiply that by 7.5, and it'll give you their weight. Now, this is a system that I developed back in the early 1970s, 72, 73. And it works out pretty close. But the way I did it is I would find a track and I build a box with a single foot on it, the same area as the footprint that I was looking at, and then loaded it with sandbags until it sunk the same depth as the track I was looking at. Then I weighed that. So I started with a weight. Okay. Then I did the work to figure the area, and then worked backwards and divided that weight by the area and gave me the 7.5 pounds per square inch that works. So if you give me a 15-inch track, okay, his height, same constant with us. 6.5 times his height or his foot length is going to be his height. So 15-inch footprint, he's going to be 98 inches high, 8 foot 2 inches. Okay. 15-inch times 0.4 is 6. 6 times 15 is 90 square inches of his foot times 7.5, 565 pounds.
How did you come up with this formula?
I'm an engineer.
Yeah, that's true. I suppose to you it's kind of common sense to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, I have a cartoon, a mother and child and dad sitting by the pool, and dad sitting there with his computer and doing computations, and mom says to son, "No, son, dad is really having fun. He's an engineer." Okay.
Oh, that's funny.
I still do it. Okay. I just, I give me a problem and I'm going to figure out a solution for it mathematically in one way or another. And that's how I did it. I started with that weight and then worked backwards to figure the area. And, but again, the anatomical constants are intermembrane index and the length of foot versus height ratio of 6.5. Those come right out of Anatomy 101 class in any college. Okay, and but the rest of it I did figure out for myself, and took a lot of work to do it, and yeah, it's fascinating that it works out as well as it does. Of course, it's hard to get people to sit and listen to this because it is technical and it's hard to understand. If you don't understand mathematics, it's a little more difficult. I understand that. I don't understand how people don't understand mathematics, but that's just me. As
it flies over my head.
Well,
mathematics.
Some people are just made to multiply, and that's it.
I think so.
I'm definitely not a math girl.
Well, talk Do you have any other formulas you've been working on, or do you see yourself working on anything in the future?
As it comes up, you give me a problem, and I'll start working on trying to figure out a way to solve it empirically. Right now, I'm spending more time on glyphs. I'm working with those. I'm working with Barb we're going to write a book this winter for covering what she's doing. She's got some great stuff going on at her house. They come visit her at her house, and she runs a great ship, good investigator. I have no idea, well, I do too, really. The best investigators in the Sasquatch world are women. I'll say that right now. And there's a reason for that. Men go in with a preset mindset. Okay. I used to run the archery counter for Sportsman's Warehouse where I lived. And I would much rather teach 100 women to shoot a bow than one man. I would start work with a woman. I'd explain what to do, show her what to do, turn around, and she was trying to do it. I do the same thing with a man. I turn around, and he's doing it the way he's always done it. And, well, this is the way I've always done it. Yeah, and you've always been a lousy shot, so what's your point? No. Same thing here. Women go in with an open mind. They observe, and then they test what they've observed. It's one thing Barb does every time. Anybody has a sighting, anything, they test it. They'll go back and they'll reproduce it. And that is such a great thing to do. We had this was in the Blue Mountains a few years back. The guy was from St. Louis, nice young man, and he and his friend were walking up the road, and they came back and they'd seen a hunter with his dog walking up in the woods. And there's no hunters here. We were the only ones in the whole freaking area. And so we went back and we reenacted it. Turned out his hunter had to be 8 feet tall in order for him to see the portion of him that he did. And his dog had tracks that were 16 inches long.
Oh.
Okay. That's what reenactments do for you.
Mm-hmm.
And she will sit down in the morning with the entire group and go through what happened the day before. What did they see? What did they do? What did they observe? And gets it all on tape. And Barb is so much fun to have a discussion with. And then this happened. Here's the video. Because everything's on video.
We have to say hi to Barb. Hi, Barb.
Hi, Barb. Yeah. Yeah, she runs a very good ship. I've been associated with them a few years now, and I just really, really, really enjoy them. It's a great group of people. But then the nicest people in the world will be the ones that do this anyway. And it was so funny. I was sitting here thinking one day, we have several gay couples in our group, and I'm thinking, why that is. I get thinking about it. You got the most open-minded people in the world in the group, so where else are they going to be and be welcomed, just because they're, and nobody casts a mean eye or anything. They're just part of the group, and it just makes it fun. It makes it fun. I'm not one to pick on the person anyway.
Yeah. I think that's awesome. And I think people are hopefully getting out of the bullying stage, when they just get so mean and they just to hurt people. I'm hoping that everybody's getting their stuff together and start realizing that they're the ones that are going to improve their lives by every decision they make today. Their tomorrows are going to change for the better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just putting that out there.
Everything we do is a result of our decisions.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Mm-hmm. And with that, we have to go to our commercial break. So stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back with Thom Cantrall. All right, so we're on commercial break, and we have 2 minutes, but we're still recording. So whatever happens,
All right.
happens on the YouTube.
Whatever happens,
Yes.
does not stay here. It's good.
Does not stay happened.
That's what happened.
Oh,
Does
Tammy
not
and her
stay
ears.
in the chat.
Well, it's wonderful having you on, Tom. I'm so glad you came on today. That was awesome.
Oh, I love being with you guys. It's just so much fun.
Aw, thank you. And we love your stories too. And I can't wait. Didn't you say you went out with them too?
Oh, I go out with them a lot, but I can't, after I can't go out. I know I can go to the camp and spend the day, but I can't even stay overnight anymore because I went to Canada and in September, and it was tough getting back. I had bronchial pneumonia when I came back and ended up in the hospital, but I got over it.
Well, you look fabulous. You sound fabulous right now. You sound great and healthy, and I'm just happy for you.
Oh,
Fabulous, Tom.
yeah.
Fabulous.
Well, for an old guy.
That's true for a very, very old man.
That's right.
I'm kidding,
For
Tom.
an ancient work of
Well,
art.
we were talking today about that. I'm younger than all but one or two of the women in this place, and older than all but one or two of the men in this place.
Should be back on the air soon. I'm waiting for the go.
Tammy's having ear troubles.
I know. Enjoy this because this is like a limited edition. Tammy does not do this stuff, so enjoy the moment.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Hey, this is the Journey Radio Show, and we're the She Squatchers. Won't you check us out online at shesquatchers.com, and then you can come on over to our YouTube channel, which is She Squatchers Official, and please subscribe and follow us there for all our cool videos and stuff like that. But hey, we're also on Facebook and Instagram under She Squatchers Official, so please do come like and follow us there for the most current of what's going on with us. And we would love to see you there. So we're back to the show with Thom Cantrall. Hey, Tom.
Hi there. Welcome back.
Welcome back from commercial break.
Tammy, I was going to tell you, you live in Virginia Beach. I used to live there. But when I was there were none of those big hotels along the beach where the pier is now. It sat there all by itself. There was nothing around it at all. Yeah. That was back
when I lived here when I was younger, it wasn't like it is now. I came back and I walked the beach and I was like, this is not what I remember. Where'd all these buildings come from? It was all beach before.
Yeah. Yeah. I was there in 62, 63 and early 64. Yeah.
I think I was here in like 70, 75, 76.
Mm-hmm. I attended the guided missile school at Dam Neck there.
That math doesn't play, Tammy.
Okay, 76. I was here from 76 through.
That was funny.
Because weren't you 10?
Anyway, 76 to like 80.
Okay.
What
you were like 10,
at?
I thought.
What is that, Jenna?
We don't know what that is.
I'm afraid to look.
No.
What is that?
No,
we can't see
it's
it.
not that. It's
It's not a condom?
No.
It's
no,
the
they're hand waves.
They're hand waves. Jenna, for those who don't know, Jenna is a germaphobe. Big time.
does not hand out condoms. Just saying.
No.
She's a germaphobe, though. She hands out wipes.
I don't need them. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's too much fun to tease Jenna. Too much fun.
Should not be showing packages of that size proportions.
I had no idea until I looked at it on the camera, and I I got a little
You're like,
nervous, and then you
here's
guys
my
took it
condom.
there.
I didn't know
Oh
what they
my
were.
goodness, Jenna.
Yes.
You know what she's gonna get for Christmas now?
Yeah.
Condoms.
Oh, no. You guys are such
We'll
perverts.
set up a PO box for her
Yeah.
if everybody
They
wants
got-
to donate.
They got me a lifetime supply, 3.
No. That's funny.
That is funny.
What just?
Oh,
Me
I have a
too,
question for
actually.
Tom. I have a question for Tom.
yes.
So,
Yeah.
Tom, when you know these structures that Bigfoot makes, these large tree structures that aren't like, they're not like dens or anything like that, but they're definitely like put together. It's not even like a teepee, but just like putting a bunch of trees together in some type of an artful way, like huge trees. What do you think that they're trying to do with that?
I've asked about that. I've asked my teacher about that. And the answer I get is that's not for you to know at this time. Just understand they're part of our rituals.
Part of their rituals.
Yeah.
Rituals?
Yeah. You have to remember they're spiritual people. Okay. One of the first conversations I had with my teacher was about that very thing. He called me out to the mountains to talk with him. And this was the Blue Mountains in southeastern Washington again. And I got out there and he said, I know that you are having trouble reconciling what you're learning from us with your priesthood. Okay. He says, know this, we serve the same creator.
Well, it only makes sense that everybody has the same creator because,
Absolutely.
you know, I don't care what name you call the creator, is still just the
still
creator.
the creator, right?
Right.
And I asked him about Christ. Christ is the savior for mankind, not for our people. And I asked him,
Yes.
I said, do you have a savior for your people? That's not for you to know at this time. So I assume they do, but then different people have them in different forms. It all comes back to Christ, same thing. But, not everybody on earth looks to Christ either.
That's true.
And it's, and they're all going to have the same opportunity as everybody else at one point, sometime or another, to accept or deny. But that's beyond the point. And I went on to ask him, what is your major concern? And said we need to get closer ties with humanity. And I said, why? You've done so well without it this long. For the first time in the history of mankind, man has the ability to destroy the world without firing a shot from his guns. And I looked at him and I says, how is that? He says, they are destroying the major predators in the oceans. Now you have to stop and look. You hear people talk about don't cut the trees, they will lose oxygen. That's BS, because unless you pave it, something else grows back where those trees were. Grass, brush, or other trees. And they all photosynthesize.
Yep.
They all photosynthesize in exactly the same way. Number one. Number two, only 20% of our oxygen comes from the land. 80% comes from the oceans. So if you want to screw things up, screw up the balance in the ocean. When you start killing off the capital predators in any area, it allows the underspecies to bloom, to flourish, to breed out of control. Then your whole system goes out of whack. When your system in the ocean goes out of whack, that means your vegetation that is generating this 80% of our oxygen gets eaten out. That's what they're afraid of.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And we're polluting the oceans too.
We are. That's generally shoreline. the plastic and stuff is an eyesore, but it isn't really a pollutant. It breaks up and becomes sand. But
the plastic?
It'll break up into pieces so small. A lot of.
I feel like it's killing so many.
It can. Okay, if something tries to eat it, it can lodge in your airways, and there are some deaths from that. But that isn't the major problem. The major problem is what we're doing to the predators. Yeah, I wish the plastic bottles had never been invented. Or that people would have had enough responsibility to take them home and dispose of them properly. But people have never been responsible about anything. They have no respect. That was another thing. One of the first things he said to me, he said, I don't understand humans. He says, you have no respect. He says, you do not respect where you live. Look what you're doing to exactly what we're talking about. He says, you have no respect for one another. And worst of all, you have no respect for yourselves. And he's absolutely right. People have no respect for one another, and they don't even respect themselves. I absolutely pity this newest generation. I absolutely do. When I saw what I came from, what I had, and what they have to deal with now, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Of all ecology, whenever you remove the threat of one species, other species overcompensate until there's a threat with them being too big, and then the other species come in, and then they grow bigger, and then they reduce that size, and it's the whole ecology cycle.
That's right, and species come and go depending on the ecology of the area. There are no more mammoths. There are no more mastodons. No saber-toothed tigers. Okay. The reason for that is the atmosphere, pardon me, the word went out of my mind, but the ecology of the world changed, and we left the ice age. People talk about global warming. Global warming has been around for 15,000 years. Where I'm sitting right now,
exactly,
and where you are in Minnesota, and where we sit, 15,000 years ago was a sheet of ice 1.5 miles thick. That's gone now. Mm-hmm. Okay, and it started melting long before there were SUVs.
Okay. And chemicals and anything.
And you're right.
Yes.
Right.
That's the way it is. That's the way it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that we aren't helping it, okay, but was going to happen anyway. Okay, but there's still, while we're talking about this, there's still a program on TV glorifying the hunting of bluefin tuna. And bluefin tuna stocks are so low they don't know now if they stopped worldwide fishing for them, they could survive. And that's one of the major species in the world. Sharks are being killed for their fins and nothing more.
That's just not good.
No, it's just not good. And that's what has them worried. That's what has me worried. Fortunately, I don't have time to worry about it much. It's not going to happen in my lifetime, but it might in yours.
Well, and there are hundreds of varieties of sharks.
Yes, there are.
Not that any one shark's life is less important than another one.
No, they all have their niche.
Yeah, they all have their purpose.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Man's got to understand that. They've got to learn that somehow, somewhere, some way. Yeah. If not,
just because we're scared of something doesn't mean we have to kill it.
Yeah. And if not, we'll be one of those species that came and went.
That's true.
Speaking
just like the honeybees, the bees are so important to our life.
Oh, absolutely. They're absolutely essential to our life. Mm-hmm.
And most people don't think about that.
Mm-hmm.
What were you going to say, Jenna?
Oh, I was just going to ask Tom what he thinks about the human species. If you think that how many times do you think the human species has began and ended, or do you think it's just Tammy has a number 3?
Yeah, I was just reading an article today of relics of a city found 15,000 years old. Mm-hmm. Now they only admit to 5,000. There's the things that's going on this
race history.
Yeah, there's things going on in this world that we had no idea about.
This is our 3rd time around, and we still can't get it right.
Is that what
it is?
It is? Okay. Mm-hmm. What's your basis for that?
Well, interdimensional travel and conversations with other world entities, but it's our third try, and we still can't get it right. So
no, we don't have it right yet.
I can't guarantee there's going to be a 4th.
Right. Yep.
Well, right now it's scary because this world is not in a great place. So
no, it isn't. No, it isn't. And our believe me, our best hope are these people. Okay. They have more knowledge. They've forgotten more than we'll ever know about living in this life on this earth. He told me one time, we have no powers that you did not at one time have. The difference is, about 35 millennia ago, you stopped adapting to your environment and started adapting your environment to you. We did. We moved indoors. Now we're talking across the fire. We don't need telepathy anymore. We're not talking ridge stop to ridge stop. We're talking across the fire in the teepee.
Yeah. We should use telepathy still because it could help in a lot of ways, but people are not open to it anymore.
No,
they're not open to a lot of things.
And it happens. Oh, believe me, it happens. What the attack I had when I was giving my presentation last month here, before the summit. I don't know if you know about that, but I told you I give a monthly presentation here, and I was right in the middle of it. I actually had 10 minutes left of it, and went down. I mean, my heart started running weird. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't see, and I didn't even want to sit down for fear of God. I thought I was done. I thought that was the end. And
oh my gosh!
The thought came to my mind. What better way to depart this life than talking about the people you love the most to your best friends, And but there, in my ear, immediately was my teacher, Akanisha. Stay strong. Stay standing. We're with you. You have work to do. It's not your time.
Wow.
And that happened right there in our rec room, just down the hall from here. Yeah, I know. I get called a kook a lot. Arla says
not by us.
Arla says she's not a kook. She's a kookette.
People that aren't kooks are no fun.
Yeah. I get attacked. The Steven Struferts of the world are, they love to attack. They don't have anything to offer in exchange. I don't mind if people have other ideas, other concepts. I'll discuss them with anybody. Dr. Meldrum and I have the strangest relationship you probably ever see. We're both at a conference. We'll sit there and disagree with 60% of what one another say, shake hands, and go home friends. You can disagree without being. You can disagree without being disagreeable.
Exactly right. I like when conferences have a good balance of that for a little bit of something for everybody, no matter what. Right. I like that.
Isn't that I am so fortunate to have been able to spend the life I have with these people. This research we did in Canada. When I got to go up there in September, I had to go because I had to see my people again. I got to witness the birth of twins up there, and those twins are 8 years old now. And I was told if I would come up, I would see them. And I did. I got to see their mother again. I got to see the twins, and I got to see her new baby. And so, what's that worth? What's that worth?
A lifetime.
Yeah. Is it worth the pneumonia I had? Yeah, totally worth it. Yeah. Because I got to do it. And it's just, and it's all about respect. All about respect. Yeah.
Definitely.
If anybody understands anything in this life, it's respect. If somebody is obnoxious, leave them. You don't have to defend. Yeah. That just eggs them on. That's what they're looking for. They can't argue with themselves if you turn around and leave. What are they going to do? Sit there and convince themselves how right they are? They already know that.
A lot of the people who are, specifically in the ape camp, that they're just an undiscovered ape. I've heard a lot of them the more they start looking and they start having these experiences, sometimes they just stay quiet about it because they've been so anti those types of things.
They're afraid to admit they were wrong. But I can give you an example of one person. His name is Rick Taylor. He was a former federal agent, and he'd had a couple of fleeting sightings, and he wanted more. He wanted a face-to-face, and he was down at Arla's place in Oklahoma, and took a walk with her at night. And you did not mention telepathy to him. You did not mention mind speak. You did not even think about cloaking in his presence. It just didn't happen. That was your own, dreams. And he's walking with Arla, and all of a sudden in his mind, his voice says, "Step away from Arla." And he looked at Arla to see if she'd said it, and she was just looking around. Voice said, "Step away from Arla." So he stepped away from her. "Why do you have a gun in your pocket?" "Well, I'm a federal agent, and I legally have to carry a gun all the time." He says, it's just for protection. It's not for you or anything like that. And then they proceeded to give him a show like it was unbelievable. They danced, the whole group of them were dancing there in front of him. Believe me, he understands the paranormal now. It happens. Great guy. Okay.
I love it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All it takes, Cliff Barrickman, nice guy. I like Cliff a lot, but he has no idea what he's dealing with. I told him, Cliff, I said, you just needed experience. That's all. But yeah, you don't believe in anything but science, but you got to remember, I got a science degree too. All right, I know scientific method, and I follow it. But I see things that don't match. And I'm open-minded enough to accept that I don't understand. Okay? Jeff Meldrum and I were talking one day, and I said, "Well, Jeff, we've done it again. We disagree with 60% of what one another say and go home friends." He says, "Yes," he says, "isn't that strange?" He says, "I'm sitting there listening to you talk," and he says, "I'm disagreeing with what you're saying, but you're so darn articulate and your argument is so good, I find my head going up and down."
That's so cute.
I said, "Jeff, listen to your head." Yeah. This is a case, listen to your head. It's doing right, okay? I said, "You just need the experience." You need, instead of the clinical experience, you need the Diane Fossey, Jane Goodall experience. You need to sit with them. You need to watch them. Then you'll know. Okay? Then all doubt disappears. Then one day, I thought they were an undiscovered ape species too, until I'm sitting there beside a back road, eating my fried chicken and reading my Kindle and drinking my Diet Pepsi. And the voice says, Tom, I can't come out, but I wanted you to see me before you left. You know, I started believing in telepathy at that point. You know, I knew they were something more. Cliff says telepathy is no more than self-talk coupled with wishful thinking. As Cliff, I was driving home one night from a little town of Tenino, February, raining. Oh, it was a miserable night. And I was doing about 50 miles an hour. This road is straight as a string with one little curve in the middle and then a major curve at the end of it. I was just about to the end when I saw this vehicle coming up behind me at a very high rate of speed, like 80 to 90 miles an hour. So I just pulled off the edge of the road and let it go by. And as I started to pull back on the road again, the voice said, slow down, he's not going to make the curve. And it was 4 high school kids in a pickup coming back from a basketball game. And do you think I wanted to go around that curve and see what I was going to see?
Nope.
Fortunately, they just hit the infield on the on-ramp to the freeway and spun out. It didn't roll. I stopped and they were shook up. Believe me, they were shook up, but nobody was hurt. And I went across, this was before the days of cell phones. I went across the freeway to the little mini store there and called a wrecker to pull them out because they couldn't get out. It was raining so wet they couldn't get out. Now I asked Cliff, I said, where's the wishful thinking in that? Where's the self-talk? The last thing I wanted to do was go around that curve. But it happens. I know other people have had that. It's the same thing that they do. It's just a different voice.
Well, we're coming towards the end of the show, Tom, and I want to give you the opportunity to tell people where they can find all of your books to purchase.
Oh, they're just on my website, and my website is thomcantrall.com. I started out when I first built a website, I used the title of my first book, coastofrubyridge.com. But by the time I'd written 10 books, the name of the website was so long.
Oh, no.
So I just decided to use my name, and then I could reference whatever I wanted in there. So yes, it's thomcantrall.com, and everything's on there, all 13 of them. And there's other things there. There's videos there. There's essays there that are free just to watch and to share and to like. And I also have videos on YouTube. I've got a YouTube channel. I don't do anything with it much. I just, they're there. But they're there for people that want to see them. Okay? And I want to thank you guys so much for having me. We didn't get to talk about Sasquatch very much, but I want you to know I love the 3 of you more than anything in the world, okay?
Oh, we love
Thank you
you,
so much,
Tom.
Tom.
We love you too.
Yes.
Okay?
All right.
We
Well, thanks for
definitely do.
tuning in, everyone, and we'll see you next week. Night.
All right.
Night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.